So after months and months of being under an NDA and not being able to film or cover this game, it has finally been lifted as of last week while I was on vacation, and I finally got a chance to get in there and record some footage and play, and I have to say, I'm getting a little aggravated. Let's talk about this. Hey everybody, what is going on? Brandon here, and this is Spellbreak. This is a class-based, magic-based battle royale game, and I've actually been playing this game for about 8 months now under an NDA. I've not been able to record, I've not been able to cover it. The NDA was lifted on the 12th. Unfortunately, I was on vacation when that happened, so I wasn't able to get on and play and record any footage. So I got back, and I've spent the last several days recording footage and trying to get a video up for this game, so I can finally talk to you guys about it. And I gotta say, I'm a little aggravated. First off, I want to say that my aggravation with this game has nothing to do with it being a bad game. In fact, completely the opposite. This game is not a bad game. This game is a really, really good game. It plays really well. It is fun. It is enjoyable. The art style it's different. I really like it. It reminds me sort of a Wind Waker, especially on high when you have, all the shadows and all the lighting. It looks really good. The concept itself with this game is amazing. It sets itself apart from every other battle royale game completely. It does not reflect anything that you've experienced in any other battle royale games, which is really nice. But I actually think that might be why I'm getting so aggravated with it. Because it sets it apart so much that if you don't play it on a regular basis and you don't really get into it and grind and practice, you're not going to be good at this game. I think I've played like 5 matches today. I've not gotten a single kill, and this is just trying to get footage for the thing. I wanted to be able to get at least 1 or 2 kills for footage in the channel, and I've not been able to get any kills in this game. Now, I was able to, before the NDA was lifted and I was able to play, I was getting kills and stuff, but I didn't play this a whole bunch while I was waiting on the NDA to lift, because I was waiting to be able to cover it since I'm part of their creator program. But now that I can actually cover it and I go to play, the learning curve is just so huge and it's so chaotic. That is one thing. This game is very, very chaotic, and it does play a major factor on how it plays, because there's so much going on in a match that you need to pay attention to. The dropping part is a little weird. I'm not really 100% sure how it works. You choose a portal, but then you still end up dropping out of the sky and having to choose where you're going to land on the map. The portals are all kind of scattered. You level up your character similar to a MOBA as you're actually playing the game, the longer you stay alive, and you can choose additional skills on top of the ones you already have. You can choose 2 different classes which grant you passive buffs. But on top of that, when you have your gauntlets, you don't just have your primary and secondary fire. The Q and the E buttons actually also function as left-hand secondary attack and right-hand secondary attack when your sorcery meter is charged up. And there's just a lot going on. You can do some really cool stuff, like you can throw a tornado at somebody, then hit it with lightning, and not only are they stuck in the tornado, but they're also getting hit with lightning, slowed down, and taking damage. You can create a firewall. If you want to create a steam cloud for cover, you can shoot some ice on the ground, then blast it with a fireball to create kind of a smoke screen. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do, but combat is just so chaotic that it's really just a matter of who is going to be able to keep spinning around as fast as possible and trying to hit the other people, because it seems to be, it's just who's going to come on top of the chaos or come out on top of all the chaos that's going on in the match or in the fight. And it takes a lot of getting used to, and it does get really obnoxious, especially because I'm sure a lot of you that have played first-person shooters or arena shooters where pretty much everybody's jumping as much as they possibly can and double jumping and trying to just stay moving as fast as possible, and that's how this plays, except for the TTK is so much lower that instead of it being like an arena shooter where it's who's going to land the lucky shot, it's you just sit there throwing spell after spell after spell until eventually one of you dies. And it does get sort of aggravating, especially if in the middle of a fight you get a third person run up on you and take you both out. The class system itself is really interesting, but I have a hard time believing that with all these passive buffs that are actually in the game, between the runes, the gauntlets, your leveling up with your class buffs, I'm having a hard time imagining, because you choose 2 classes, that there's not a high tier or a meta now, and that there's not some balance issues, because there's just so many different passives I haven't even had time to go through and actually try to analyze which would be the best one to do, which class would be the best one to choose, what combination of classes, what gauntlets with what runes and what boots. But I'm sure somebody out there has, and I can guarantee there's probably a pretty high tier meta going on, because it does get rather confusing. And there, like I said earlier, there is so much going on that it's hard to believe that there's not something that's going to make somebody a lot better without having necessarily more skill if they just find the right passage to go at the right time. One of the biggest bonuses with this game, though, has to be the combination of abilities. The ability to be able to use two gauntlets of different abilities and merge them together. That is one thing I love about it. It is awesome. It adds some really cool strategy to the game that other games don't really have, when you can take two different kinds of elements, merge them together to make a super weapon. But it does get really confusing. Like I said, there's been multiple times, because it's mapped to the Q and the E key, which you can remap. I'm probably going to end up mapping it to my mouse buttons, or on my side of my mouse. But if you don't map them to anything else, you're going to have a hard time, because instead of inventory being I, it's tab, like it is in a lot of first-person shooters. And there was multiple times in the middle of a fight I'd go to use sorcery and hit tab, because the keys are so close together and there's so much going on. You can't really afford to take your time, looking at what you're going to hit. You just have to kind of guess and throw your finger on the button. And there was a few times I bumped the tab button, and because when that's bumped, cannot use my sorcery, cannot really do anything, and I just sit there taking damage. And that is an absolute nightmare to do in the middle of a fight, especially as chaotic and explosive as these fights tend to be. At the end of the day, this game is great. It's got an amazing concept. It's got great visuals. It plays pretty well. It's a lot of fun. It's very different if you're wanting something different from other Battle Royale modes. It does have a practice mode for you to practice with the other gauntlets. That's one thing I will say I wish they added, though, is bots, so you could actually practice your aim. Because it seems my aim in first-person shooters is not carrying over in this at all. Whether it's in this, whether it's in H1Z1, PUBG, any other game where it's a third or first-person shooter, my aim is usually a lot better than it seems to be in this. It's definitely a learning curve. I will tell you this, if you're not used to games like this, you're gonna be in for a rude awakening when getting started. Now, hopefully, I'm gonna keep playing this more today. I have to take breaks on and off because my liquid cooler went out on my PC that I used to play games on, and now I'm using the stock cooler until a new one comes in the next week or so. So I have to actually take my time to play games like this and be able to get footage. But hopefully I get better at playing it and it won't be as aggravating. But as of right now, if you're new to this kind of game, you're going to probably be pretty aggravated early on until you get the hang of it, just like I am. But it is definitely a good game and one to stick out and stick through if you are interested in this style of game. Now, you may play it and not like it and not want to do it again. But if you're like me and can see that it's just a skill gap that you need to close, I recommend giving it a shot. Now, if you are still interested in this game and you've stuck it out to the end of the video, congratulations, because I am doing a key giveaway with this video. All you have to do is be a subscriber, leave a comment down below on what interests you most about Spellbreak. I'll be announcing the winner next week on my next Spellbreak video that I'm doing, so just stay tuned. All you have to do, like I said, be a subscriber, comment down below. If you like this video and you want to see more, please do me a favor. If you're not already subscribed, mash that red subscribe button. If you want to know anytime me or Nathan upload videos, hit that bell icon. Especially if you're doing the giveaway, hit that bell icon so you'll know the next time I upload a Spellbreak video, and you can look and see if I announce that you are the winner of this key. But thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time.